Game of Thrones ended a few weeks ago, and to be nice, I would say it was stupid. Many people are angry and upset, and yeah, they are kind of justified. Things felt rushed and did not make sense at the end. Now, I started watching Game of Thrones years ago. What kept me coming back to this show were character arcs and character developments. There are characters I love and there are characters I hate. Some just grew on me, but by the end of this show, almost every character was ruined and started acting out of character, which made a lot of plots stupid and unrecognizable. Things that used to be important stopped being important, and a few characters just became stupid just for no reason. It's like they just decided to choose the path of stupidity. So, what happened to Game of Thrones? Bad writing. No matter how good a story is, if it has bad writing, that story is going to become stupid. I watch a lot of stuff and I can tell you Game of Thrones ending takes the cake in this pack in bad writing. Now, I told a couple of my friends that Game of Thrones have bad writing. They laughed at me and one of them said, "Am I saying I know better than the guys that wrote Game of Thrones?" I'm not going to answer that question now. For this video, let's call this my friends the Shotgun Prince and Call Me Daddy. Nope. Let's just call them R&D. So now let's look at what happened to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was a book written by George R.R. Martin. 90% of that book is what we just watched, Game of Thrones, the TV series. The people that adapted and wrote the Game of Thrones TV series are David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. For short, people just call them D&D. D&D are very good at adapting from the source material and making an amazing show. Adapting something into a TV series or movie is not easy because you might forget something that later on come and bite you in the ass, maybe some important plots, or you could adapt some boring parts that will make the show boring. D&D knew what and what not to adapt while adapting this book. What I'm trying to say here is that they are very good at adapting. So if they are so good at adapting, why did I say Game of Thrones have bad writing? Well, at season 4 they ran into a very big problem. They caught up to the books. R.R. Martin hasn't finished his story. The first book came out in 1996, the next book was 98, the third one came out in the year 2000, fourth book came out at 2005, and the last book he released came out at 2011. So nobody knows when the next book is coming out. Hell, I don't even think R.R. Martin knows when he's going to release the next book. If you spend a lot of time in the anime world, you'll know that when an anime catches up to the manga, they have a few choices. Wait for the books to come out so that they can adapt it, give fillers, which is always a bad idea, or give an anime ending, which is a horrible idea. D&D started writing Game of Thrones, and that's not what they are good at. The show used to be about good development and small fight scenes, but now we have way more fight scenes to eat up our time. Before, they used to subvert our expectations by breaking traditional norms, but now they try to subvert our expectations by giving us stupid, senseless events and plots. Not only that, these guys even forget about the shit they wrote.
Back here again. He climbed on a fucking dragon and fought. What kind of person climbs on a fucking dragon? A madman! What kind of person climbs on a fucking dragon? A madman!
So let's now look at all the characters and plots that D&D messed up with their bad writing. Oh, and anytime they truly screw up, I'm going to count it. Let's start with the dragons. In my last video, I said they are one of the most unbalanced characters in this show, and I still stand by it. First, how sentient are they? Because the dragon knew that this throne was poisoned and destroyed it. It's kind of hard for me to believe they are this intelligent and somehow did not see the Iron Fleet. Look at this stuff. It takes so much men to move it, and you're telling me it was able to hit a moving target with no scope? Some people out there like say no, it's a sneak attack on stuff like the mountains were blocking it. But hear what David said.
Well, Danny kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet, and
at the Battle of Winterfell, these dragons, they really didn't do anything. I mean, look at this shit. Are you telling me this would work on the White Walkers? And there were 2 dragons. If it took 30 minutes to destroy King's Landing with 1 dragon, it would probably take 15 minutes to destroy King's Landing with 2 dragons. So you're telling me with 2 dragons doing this, none of this would have had some serious problems or would have done serious damage to the White Walkers. Is that what you're telling me? And don't tell me they were concentrating on the Night King. The Night Bastard did not show up till like 70-80% of the fight was done. Now you guys want me to believe that the dragon can destroy a world that have stood for hundreds of years, right? But somehow that same dragon cannot destroy a little rock Jon Snow was hiding under. Seriously? The Night King. The Night King was such an underused character. The first thing you see in this show is the White Walkers, and I'm hearing the first thing you read in the book too is the White Walkers. So they are supposed to be very important, right? Nope. What narrative reason did they serve in this show? Think about it. What real reason did they serve in this show? So you're telling me the most powerful being in this world was killed with a kitchen knife? If it was that easy, I think the Night King should have been killed a long time ago. Dragon fire was like spraying perfume on this guy, and we all know how powerful dragon fire can be. This thing cuts through stone like nothing. Ask the people of King's Landing. Oh crap, you can't. It should have been something powerful. Maybe Brian showing us some new skill he just acquired. 9 years of them hyping this guy up for him to go down in less than 20 minutes. Jeez, the mountain took more shots than him and he was still standing. I feel bad for his generals. All they did was stand, follow and die. Bran, this is another underused character. I mean, he's one of the most powerful characters in this world. His powers are endless, but what does D&D do with it? Nothing. This guy can time travel and permanently give you a brain damage. And nobody thought that would be useful in this season. Nice. Plus, he's kind of dumb. In fact, almost everybody in this show became stupid for no reason. Their plan to kill the Night King was to use Brian as bait, and when the Night King show up, what next? What were they supposed to do next? The plan goes as far as just getting the Night King out in open. That was it. Was the Night King supposed to just look at him and die? Arya was never part of the plan. It was just by some miracle she showed up there the time that she did. And Bran is the worst choice as king. There is no way this guy can be a good king. He's omnipotent and mentally far above all of them. He will not be able to connect with them, and the people will not be able to connect to him because he's just way far above all of them. I mean, think about it. If someone shows up to him like, oh wise king, my family is about to be destroyed, we're about to be killed, please send help, he'll just sit there and be like, that is fate, that is the choice fate have chosen, that is the fate of the world, thank you for your service. It's like you didn't hear me. My daughters will probably get raped, and my sons probably it's possible they could get raped before they kill. So I really do need help. And he's just going to sit there and be like, your family is where they need to be. And if there's somebody with so much power, the person will be like, you know what, screw you, have fun ruling the 5 kingdoms now. Look, he knew Daenerys was going to go and roast King's Landing, and he let it happen. Why? Because Bran doesn't fight fate. Everybody that is born tries to fight fate one way or another, but Bran, he just agrees with whatever fate says. So he's going to be a bad king. Jon Snow. You know, I used to really like Jon Snow. He was that fantasy hero we could all count on. He may not be the smartest person in the show, but he always found some clever way to solve his problems. But for the last 2 seasons, he kind of stopped being himself. Now that I think about it, I think it's after he bent the knee to Daenerys, he just started losing IQ. He was on a hero's journey, but after he just met Dany, it just ended. Let's take a look at some of his journeys. He was a bastard that started to get some respect. Okay, that's good. He got killed and came back to life. Okay, nice. So why did he come back to life? Can somebody tell me why? And wasn't to kill the Night King? Was it for him to go and get help in the north? You don't need to bring somebody back from the dead to do that, okay? So was it to kill Daenerys? If so, what was the point of you guys telling us he's the true heir to the throne? Jon being the true heir to the throne really pissed me off, because the writers could have done many cool things with it, but no, they did not. Before season 1 started, only 3 people in the world knew that Jon was a true heir to the throne.
And he kind of wiped his hands clean on the napkin and he said, so who do you think Jon Snow's real mother is?
This was a test.
It was a test.
It was a Wonka
It was
test.
Absolutely
Yeah.
a test question.
That's how these guys got the job to do this show. All we got from that was just Danny getting angry and oh, she couldn't screw her boyfriend anymore. After Jon kills Danny, everybody just completely forgot about him being the true heir to the throne. They just completely forgot about it. It's like everybody, including his sisters, all sat in the room and said, okay, you know we don't agree on many things, but let's all agree that it is a very bad idea for any Targaryen to be king. Targaryens like burning people. Do we agree? Everybody nod their head and say yes. So we never talk about Jon being the true heir of Targaryen. Yes. Everybody that told him to kill her just completely forgot about that. The only reason Jon was in this season was just to kill Daenerys. Come first, what other stuff have you guys wrote? Oh my God! Then they tried to give him a sad fate. You know, he's going to spend the rest of his life behind the wall, and him looking back as the gate closes off kinds of indicates that he can never go back. You know, that was supposed to be touching. Until you remember that huge hole in the wall that you can fit the battleship Yamata in it. Jon can just go back anytime. It's not like anybody's going to know. The Unsullied don't have internet or phones to be keeping an eye on him. When you think about it, it makes the idea of them still having the Night Watch completely stupid. What are they going to be watching with that big hole on the wall? Daenerys. Okay, she goes from a light-hearted young queen who sometimes have to do some bad things to a mass murdering villain in just one episode. Some people say it's because she watched them kill her best friend, that's why she lost it. I don't agree with that. Because when she lost her husband, her child, and possibly her womb to helping a civilian who turned out to be evil, she had no future or real army. She had a few people looking up to her, and she kept it all together in that shit. So I don't agree with this being able to push her over the edge. Some say she has been showing she has a dark side. She just stood there and watched as they killed her brother. That guy sold her off and was going to let an entire army rape her. Hell, was going to even let the horses too rape her if it would get him closer to his goal.
I would let his whole tribe fuck you. All 40,000 men and their horses too, if that's what it took.
And put a blade to her stomach. We all know what's going to kill her and her unborn child. So nobody's going to cry for that type of person. And if you are going to say she kills people that don't obey her, well, almost everybody in Game of Thrones does that. Ned, Robb, and Jon, they all did it. It's the law of the land. It's not like you showing you have a dark side. Daenerys has never shown any aggression towards civilians. She even locked her dragons up the time that they killed one little boy. She has always wanted to show that she could rule without being evil or a tyrant. She has always hated people suffering and always tried to stop it anytime she sees it, not cause it. So bad writing, people. Look, I'm not saying a good character cannot turn evil. I'm saying you can't build up a character for 7 years to care about civilians and in less than 35 minutes don't give a shit about civilians. Tyrion, you know, I used to kind of love this guy. He was funny, he was smart, and he was kind. But if there are two things we all know about this guy is that he's very smart and he's an alcoholic. But after he joins up with the breaker of chains, he becomes daft. He stopped using logic and started relying on luck. From season 1 to 4, he has told us that you cannot talk common sense into his sister. Logic and reason are completely useless to her when she's made up her mind on something. But for some reason, the smartest person in this show completely forgets about that and tries to talk common sense into her. When it comes to Cersei, he always tries to talk common sense into her and always fails. And somehow, with all the mistakes he has made, he gets a better deal than Jon Snow. Don't get me wrong, I would have been seriously pissed if he died. But all I wanted from him was for him to just go back to his old self. Is that too much to ask? I mean, you kill Cersei's mother at birth. Yeah, it's kind of a 50-50% chances there. But you did kill her father in toilet. And technically, you did not kill her child, but she blamed you for it. Someone you have caused so much pain, there's no universe that you can talk common sense to that person, and you should know that. Jaime Lannister, I used to not like him. We all thought he was a massive dick. Screwing his own twin sister was not bad enough, but pushing a kid from a tall building, come on. We all thought he was the worst of the worst. You know, I always thought he killed the Mad King to save his skin. You know, by killing the Mad King, maybe the forces that were coming to destroy the Mad King would spare his life. But later on, we found out he did it to save thousands of women and children and his father.
Commanded you to kill your own father and stand by while thousands of men
women and children burned alive, would you have done it?
He sacrificed his honor to do the right thing. He would sacrifice himself to protect others. He did not really know Brienne, but he did jump in to save her. So what did the writers do with him?
If not for yourself, if not for her, then for every one of the million people in that city, innocent or otherwise.
To be honest, I never really cared much for them. Innocent or otherwise.
So I'm supposed to believe this guy who stopped the Mad King from killing millions of people by killing him went by himself to defend Winterfell, a place filled with all his enemies, with the possibility that he's going to die there, either by the enemy or the White Walkers, and now he doesn't care about civilians. His journey was about him leaving Cersei, but nope, they just had to do some bad writing on him. He has sex with Brienne, then breaks up with her. It's like they just wanted us to hate him. And I kind of have a problem with that, but I'll talk about that later. Sansa. I have never liked this idiot. Since season 1, she's been obsessed about becoming queen, like some mad dog on heat. In this last season, there's a place that showed us that every stupid thing we had to watch this girl go through could have been avoided if only she went with the Hound. But no, all of that made her a strong woman. 2019. The saying Northerners don't really trust outsiders is kind of dumb, because I can see a lot of people that are not from the North and you guys trust them. This scene here where Sansa is asking what about the North is kind of, I don't know, weird or stupid. I don't know where to put it. Seriously, I don't get it. If the king of the North already bent the knee, why are we still having this discussion? And I thought we've all passed the days of watching Sansa do stupid things, but nope. Seems days like that will never come. Jon Snow tells her and Arya the secret of his life. A secret their father did not tell his wife, ruined his reputation and maybe some part of his marriage. Took that secret to the grave like some boss. A secret she swore not to tell anyone. We all know Arya is going to take that secret to the grave, but Sansa tells everyone in less than 48 hours of her knowing it. It's safe to say she caused the chain of events that caused the people of King's Landing to get fucked. Yep, it's her fault. I can't believe she was just going to seriously stand there and ask Jon Snow to forgive her. She sacrificed him to get her crown. Even with all of that, she never got punished. There's just everything wrong with this girl. Even when they named her brother king, she was the only person to question it. Her asking for the North was a bit stupid, if you ask me. I mean, think about it. If they named her Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, would she ask for independence for the North? No. She'll be like, you Northerners, get in line. She would have just sat there and be smiling and take all 7 kingdoms. But no, because they didn't name her, she's asking for independence. But apart from that, think about it. Why would other kingdoms not ask for their own independence? Why is the North so special? Bran giving the North independence is just stupid, because other nations will start asking for it, and before you know, there will be no more kingdoms again. Seriously, what's stopping them from asking for their own independence? Arya. This girl has the biggest plot armor I have ever seen. If you don't know what plot armor is when a character can never be touched. Nothing can hurt, beat or stop this character. And yep, that is Arya. She can take 2 stabs to the stomach from a trained assassin and still walk it off. 2 stabs from a trained assassin. In the Battle of Winterfell, she started badass, then she lost her shit. Okay. She sneaked past all the White Walkers and the Night King's general. She moved so fast that she was literally just breeze and killed the Night King. Okay, that's cool. So why didn't they just send her to King's Landing to go and kill Cersei? Think about it. If it was so easy for her to kitchen knife the Night King, it would be too easy for her to go and kill Cersei. I mean, everybody just wait for her outside and she just go and do her job and come back with her head. It will just be another Tuesday for her. She's a problem that seriously breaks this show. Look at her in King's Landing with all that shit going on. Nothing happened to her. Plot armor. Oh yeah, she did kind of have sex with a guy and break up with the guy literally almost the next day. But for her it's cool, but for Jaime he's an ass. 2019. One of the biggest stupid plot I've seen in this show would be in season 7, where they had to go and get one White Walker as proof to Cersei so she would send her army. It's stupid because in the long run, Cersei still did not send her army. So what's the point of this whole half of the season? These whole episodes are kind of stupid because it led to nothing. So people, the question was, do I know more than these guys? So that should be it. I have a few more things to say about it, but I think I'm done with Game of Thrones. The ending is paramount. It was a good show but had a very stupid and bad ending. But for people that really love the show, you can read the books whenever R.R. Martin released them, which will be 10 years from now. But me personally, I'm done with it.